In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys an OP method to get infinite fairy jars in Roblox Grow Away Garden. As many of you already know, the fairy jars are extremely useful, especially to get yourself a bunch of crafting recipes. In fact, almost every single one of these recipes actually uses the fairy jar. But that's not the only reason we're getting the fairy jar, if you guys did not know. If you go into the fairy world and head over to this NPC in the middle of the map, as you guys can see on top of their head, they have a little fairy jar meter. It goes from 0 to 100, and this basically means if you submit 100 fairy jars to this NPC, you are actually gonna get yourself a free enchanted chest. Yes, not a seed pack, not a freaking crate, no, a free enchanted chest, and you will get this every 100 fairies you catch, which honestly is not that difficult to do, guys, trust me. Simply just follow exactly what I'm going to be doing in today's video, and I'll show you guys exactly how you can go ahead and do it yourself. Before that though, if you guys could drop a like and subscribe, that'd be very cool. We're trying to get to 400,000 subscribers to help a brother out. Anyways, let's get straight into this. So first things first, we do need to do a little bit of prep, and this is probably the hardest part about this entire method. So follow exactly what I'm doing. It's gonna take a little bit of time. So step number one, you want to go ahead and go over to this crafter right here. Press E on it, and as you guys can see, you are gonna be able to craft something called a fairy net. And this basically lets you catch fairies, which then gives you fairy jars. Yeah, this gives you fairy jars. I know it says fairy points here for some reason, but no, it gives you fairy jars. Let me actually go ahead and show you this right now. So yeah, look at this. If I collect it, I get myself a bunch of fairy nets. Now, you can go ahead and use these fairy nets and just run around the map and catch each one of these fairies manually, just like this. And this is just really time consuming. Not only do you have to do this manually, but if you don't have something like raptors in your garden helping you out, bro, you are gonna be running around this map for like 10 minutes straight. It's just really inefficient. But step number one is to, of course, farm these fairy nets. Now, I recommend getting yourself as many of these crafting items as you physically can. Starting off with the sunbulb, guys, this is really easy to get. You can get this out of the enchanted seed pack, which most of you probably already have, and you've probably gotten a bunch of these sunbulbs already because they are a 40% chance to get from the seed pack. Okay, most of you probably already have these, and to be honest, guys, we need like 5 of these seeds. But the more you can plant, the better. So go ahead, plant them up in your garden just like this. And yeah, make sure you guys go ahead and collect them, and make sure you have a lot of them. The second item we need is going to be strawberries. Now, this one is really easy to get. Simply just go over to the seed shop, go over to strawberry, get yourself one of these auto clickers, and just click here and leave it overnight. Whatever you want to do, just leave it overnight, leave it for like an hour, leave it for like 2 hours, and you're going to get at least a few, like 20-30 strawberry seeds per hour. Yes, 20 to 30 strawberry seeds per hour. It's really easy to do, and this is the best way to get yourself a bunch of strawberry seeds. Now, step number 3, we're going to need a bunch of harvesting tools. Once again, head over to the gear NPC, find yourself the harvesting tool, and we're going to need to repeat the same process where we just sit here and collect. Once again, leave this for an hour. You're going to get at least 20 to 30 harvesting tools, and it's as easy as that, guys. You're done. We're done with all of the prep for actually getting yourself one of these, a fairy net. Now, the next step you can do is do this all manually. So click here, craft, put your sunbulb in there, put your strawberry seed in there, and put your harvesting tool in there. So you can go ahead and do all of this manually, just like I did right now. Or better yet, you can get yourself a macro, and you can try and set up a macro. I bet someone has made a video on this already on YouTube. But basically, guys, get yourself tiny task, hit record right here, press E a couple of times, press E again after you collect, click on this, open up your inventory, select a sunbulb, enter that in, select this, enter that in, select a strawberry, enter that in, and boom, you are done. It's gonna do it all in the background. I know the screen is gonna be up here like the whole time, but honestly, as long as you don't click on this, guys, it's not gonna deduct any of your Robux. We're just leaving this on here because we keep on pressing E. As you guys can see, I'm pressing E, and yeah, if we stop pressing E, look at this, it's gonna keep popping up. So yeah, that's what I mean. But anyways, just set up the macro however you wish. Honestly, guys, it's not that difficult to do. You can just follow what I did in this video, and yeah, yeah, if you are on mobile, then I'm sorry, bro, you're gonna have to do all of this manually. Another thing you can do is just run around the ferry world whenever that pops up. Once again, it pops up 30 minutes after the ferry event has happened. So every single time the ferry event here happens, and this timer actually goes to 30 minutes, the ferry portal is gonna spawn in somewhere randomly around the map. You wanna go ahead, hop into that, and inside of the ferry portal, you will be able to catch these wandering ferries. Now, once again, you only have 10 minutes to do this, so this is another very, very inefficient way of catching ferries. I don't recommend this at all. Instead, what I recommend you guys to do is come right over here, back to the overworld, and make sure that the ferry event is happening. And you also want to go ahead and make sure that you have each and every one of these upgrades, mainly these two upgrades right here. So make sure the ferry event duration, you have it maxed out as much as you can, and same goes for ferry spawn amount. You want to max it out as much as you can. I know I haven't done it here, but trust me guys, I've done it on the dev servers and it helps a lot. I've tried it myself. It literally changes the rewards you get out of this. It like almost doubles them. It's really, really good. So here we have my ferry jaws right now. Make sure you guys have all of your upgrades done. Another thing I recommend you guys to do is get yourself something called a ferry power extender. If you can craft this, please go ahead and craft this. It's going to help you guys out a bunch. Additionally, you can also just go ahead and get yourself a ferry summoner. This is basically going to summon in the ferry event at any time. So if you guys want to go ahead and do the ferry event with other people, because usually when you summon a ferry event, it summons for everyone in your server. So if you want to play with a bunch of people where they are summoning ferry events, head over to my Discord server. Link is going to be in the description down below. And here guys, you're going to find a ferry events tab. And as you guys can see, people are actually doing the ferry event with each other right now. And yeah, basically find people to do the ferry event with and help you summon the ferry event a lot better. Or a lot faster, I meant to say. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next step that you need to do. Now that you have all of your ferry nets, now that you have your ferry extender, whatever you need, you have to go ahead and wait for the ferry event to happen. You can use a summoner if you want to, but simply guys, what we are gonna do is go right here in this corner, and yeah, you just simply want to go ahead and stand here, get your auto clicker out, and you want to get your ferry nets out just like this, and now just go ahead and turn on your auto clicker and sit back and relax and check this out guys. So I'm literally not even touching my keyboard, by the way. This is just the auto clicker doing everything for me, and look at this, bro. It is literally collecting the ferries for me, because the ferries spawn right over here where we are auto clicking right now. The ferries always and always spawn right here. So because of that, we can literally just camp right over here. The only thing you need is a lot of ferry nets, and yeah, you'll be able to catch almost infinite ferries as long as the event lasts. So once again, try and do this in a public server where you guys can go ahead and summon the ferry event, you know, taking turns or whatever. But here's a quick time lapse of me doing this just to show you guys it actually works. Now, as you guys saw, I only got like 16 ferry jars, and that's because I have no upgrades, bro. If I had more upgrades, I'm telling you guys, that 16 would have been 32, maybe even more. So make sure you guys go ahead and get each and every one of these upgrades. Actually, besides the glimmering multiplier, I think all three of these upgrades you do need, because this all affects the ferry spawn rate. Roaming ferries spawn from right over here. Ferry event duration, of course that makes sense, right? The longer this event lasts, the more ferries you will be able to catch. And of course, ferry spawn amount basically just determines how many ferries spawn from the fairy godmother's butt. So yeah, you guys need to go ahead and get those upgrades. They're literally gonna change the way you play this game. So let me know what you guys think about this entire method in the comments down below. And since you are going down there, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 400k. Thanks for watching. Peace out.